Hi, welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Subscribe right now. Leave in the comments in the comment section. Let's talk wrestling. And hit the bell on top as well. Keep up to date with all videos as and when they are posted. This is my NXT predictions of which stars will be called up to the main roster straight after WrestleMania. Now, I think this year we're going to be slightly disappointed. I don't think it's going to be all the big main stars. And I think NXT is in a position right now where perhaps it needs to keep some of its bigger stars until they know they can replace them. So I'm going to go with what I think are the most likely call-ups and predicted if there are going to be. I've got 5 in mind, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these don't take place until the WWE draft. So I already think that the Hardys will be returning to WWE on the Raw after WrestleMania. I think that's going to be the big one there. But here are the 5 from NXT that I think that could be called up to the main roster. Now, in no particular order, I'm going to start with Elias Sampson. Now, he lost a loser leaves NXT match to Cassius Ohno this week, which frees him now to be called up to the main roster. Now, if I had to give a position where I think he would go, I think he could be a position on Monday Night Raw, purely because of the fact that he could be just someone that can be elevating other stars. I don't see Elias as someone that's going to be a big deal. He wasn't a big deal in NXT, no former champion. I don't actually think he's going to have a successful time either on the main roster, but we have a lot of these sort of people on SmackDown already that put people over to go up on the card. On Raw, it's not as much like that, so I think that Sampson, that could be the role for him. And you never know, he looks a bit like Seth Rollins. He could be the stunt double on occasion when Rollins is suffering from injury. But anyway, on to a serious note, the second star that I'm going to pick for you is No Way Jose. Now, No Way Jose was almost called up to the main roster when the draft was done last year, but was, I believe, picked in favour in the end. It was either Carmella or Alexa Bliss were given the spot on the main roster instead on SmackDown. Now, I believe that this time No Way Jose will be on Monday Night Raw for the same reasons that he can elevate other stars. Plus, he gives a bit of energy when it comes to the ring. I think that he's accomplished all he can in NXT because he's not going to be a champion, and I think he's then going to go further down the pecking order in NXT if he stays there. So I think the time is for him now to call him up, and we'll have to see how he will fare on the main roster. But I think he'll be on Raw purely because, again, there's not a lot of room for the main sort of main eventers and people that are going to push for the top. So I think No Way Jose maybe could be a position for Monday Night Raw. Similar to kind of a surprise call-up, maybe like Apollo Crews was last year. The third call-up, and I'm going to get a bit more serious now with these call-ups, Tye Dillinger, the perfect 10. Now, of course, he has definitely accomplished all he can in NXT. He's not going to be the champion there, but he certainly is now over more than he's ever been. He had a Royal Rumble appearance as the perfect 10. I think that Tye now is definitely the right time for him to come up to the main roster. He's definitely going to be in the mid-card area, and personally for me, I think he'll be a perfect candidate for SmackDown Live. That mid-card needs all the help it can get, and I think Tye would be good for that position. The only way I can see him maybe going to Monday Night Raw is if maybe with the upcoming draft, a lot of the Raw mid-carders end up going to SmackDown. But for me, at the moment, I see Dillinger perfect position for being on SmackDown Live, although it wouldn't surprise me if in real life he does end up on Monday Night Raw. Now, for me, the next one will be The Revival. Now, I'm expecting them to lose this elimination tag team match here. They are the first ever 2-time NXT Tag Team Champions. They don't need a third reign. What they do need is they need to rescue the tag team division on the main roster. Now, where's the best place for them right now? Well, of course, with the New Day, Enzo and Kaz, Anderson and Gallows, and Cesaro and Sheamus all on Raw, SmackDown seems the best place because once the American Alpha will get the belts back off the Usos, they are going to need a credible tag team to face, and who better than a Revival reliving over an NXT rivalry that was amazing this time last year. American Alpha, the Revival on the main roster for me is must-see. So for me, the Revival have to go to SmackDown Live, and potentially they should definitely come up after WrestleMania. Now, the last one, of course, is the big draw, and it's the one that everyone would expect me to say. It's Shinsuke Nakamura. That's right, Nakamura has been the man over the last 12 months in NXT. I think, for me personally, I would call him up to the SmackDown brand, although I can see him definitely for star power and name value going to Monday Night Raw. I just don't think he would be... I think he'll be lost in the shuffle on Raw. I don't think the place for him is on Raw to begin with. I think he should make himself a main roster worthy guy like he's been in NXT, and I think they should gradually build him up, and I think SmackDown Live is the place to do it. The B show, if you really want, although for me watching it clearly is kicking Raw every single week when you watch the television product, but a shorter show, a shorter product, and less exposure if you want. I think that Nakamura will be more suited to the SmackDown side, definitely an attraction on that roster, and with the right talent around him, like perhaps matches with John Cena as well, you can really elevate Nakamura to the next level, to then following that bring him to Monday Night Raw. And can you imagine as well if AJ Styles does stay on SmackDown? That match, of course, is dream-worthy all over. So for me, Nakamura will be a great fit for SmackDown Live. Now, one name I've left out and possibly could be called up later in the year is Asuka, but I don't think she'll be coming up straight after WrestleMania. Of course, if she loses the NXT Women's Championship, she will be due a rematch. I think she definitely will come up to the main roster when we have the draft. I don't think it's going to be straight after WrestleMania, which is why she's not been included immediately in the list. But of course, she has perhaps accomplished everything she can. She's beaten everyone, been undefeated the whole way through. It's now time to test her against the main roster women. So that's everything for you in one video. That's my predictions there, who I think can be called up from NXT to the main roster after WrestleMania. Some of those perhaps immediately after WrestleMania, but I think quite a few of them could be at the draft. We'll have to wait and see how WWE is going to play this out. But that's everything for me anyway. Thank you for watching. This is SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Keep up to date with predictions for NXT TakeOver Orlando, WrestleMania 33, a podcast previewing the whole event as well for you. Make sure to check all that out now. And as well, do subscribe, take care, and I'll see you next time here on YouTube.com.